These days, I maintain 5 languages, but I only actively study 2 of them. I'm going to show you my exact tiered language learning approach, which only requires 1 hour a day, and I'm also going to address common myths or questions related to active and passive learning. You're also going to learn 5 principles that can help you maintain languages in a structured way. The languages I'm focusing on now are Hungarian, Korean, Japanese, French, and Spanish. So I got to a good conversational level in most of them at various points, but then everything started slipping away. I tried everything. I tried to fit all 7+ languages into a month, trying them a few a day, a few a week, etc. But I burnt out. So please don't make the same mistakes. The truth is that starting a language is easy, but maintaining it is the hard part. Without consistent input and output using the language, your proficiency fades faster than you think. If I haven't used Japanese particularly for a few months, when I try and speak again, my accent is off, I forget words, but I gradually get back into it. And it's embarrassing, but there are a few languages that I was good in and now I've forgotten because I didn't practice. First important thing I want to tell you that I changed in my mindset is I stopped treating all languages equally. Just because I'm learning 5+ languages doesn't mean I need to do 10 minutes of Korean, 10 minutes of Japanese, 10 minutes of French, Spanish every single day. Each language has its own goal, its own purpose, and resources that work for one language that might not work for another. So let me give you a little pyramid graphic, a tiered language approach, the one I use these days. Tier 1 is active focus. These are high effort languages and the ones that are really crucial to me right now. Hungarian is very important to me because I'm moving to Hungary soon, so I take about 1 or 2 45-minute language lessons online every week.
Kaptam egy interjút.
Komolyan?
Igen.
De jó! Gratulálok! Vagy nem, még nem.
Még nem.
De örülök.
Nekem egy jó hír. Mint egy feladat, a design kihívás, és egy héten csinálok egy appot.
Az durva.
Ha minden rendben lesz, talán tudok Magyarországon élni.
For Hungarian, I also use podcasts from various creators, various apps, and when I drive in my car, I try and listen to at least 2 audio language learning lessons in Hungarian. For Korean learning, I try and work through a grammar textbook once a week, learning a new grammar pattern. And for the rest, I'm watching TV in Korean, listening to podcasts, and working through some books because I really like reading. I do have time before bed. I don't scroll on my phone these days before bed. Finally, I've reached that habit. And I read. And a lot of my time is spent reading in Korean. Maintenance. My language is in maintenance mode with some effort. So Japanese will be reading articles about topics I like tech and culture, as well as a few books that I've bought in Japan related to creating planners and journals and productivity. I also bought quite a few books on World War II, which I'm very interested in. And I am still going to make a Japanese bookshelf tour video coming up soon. But Japanese, again, is just maintenance mode, pretty much the same as Korean, except Korean, I put in more effort to practice grammar. Then for French, I do an online group lesson once a week. This is for an hour long. It's through my friend Riley's online language school. It's called Pardon My Language, and it's the Pardon My French branch. I have my 2 French notebooks here. I'll put some overlay video of my language notes here. But I'm really enjoying the group lessons. It's a nice change of environment from having to teach myself or work through a textbook, etc. And it's a nice opportunity to really have a lot of speaking practice. And I call this one minimum effort as well because all I have to do is show up for a lesson, speak during the lesson, and take some notes. Then tier number 3 is passive maintenance. This is the low effort tier, just enjoying the languages. And actually, I might throw Dutch in here because my Instagram feed is just Dutch memes and I hear it a lot, but I'm not really learning it. But I went to the Netherlands recently and I got to use Dutch. Anyways. And in this category also falls Spanish and maybe sometimes Mandarin Chinese when I'm feeling like it. My Chinese is dusty, I haven't touched it for a while. The goal for this tier is high volume contextual input. For this tier, what I really need is listening and reading together. It sounds like a bit of high effort, but if you have a script and you're listening, a transcript or subtitles, that is super useful. Now, why I say it's low effort is you are just consuming content with a little bit of effort where you might be writing down new words, reviewing flashcards, etc. Well, not you, but me, and you can try this. So, Spanish, I pretty much just chill with Spanish. You'll see in my previous videos, I do a lot of shadowing. That would be repeating what someone is saying to get the natural tone, intonation, speed, whatever. Just watching random shows on Netflix doesn't really help sometimes because I've noticed the audio doesn't always match subtitles. It's extremely frustrating when I want to properly learn what they are saying, especially for difficult languages like Norwegian and Danish. But I have a better solution. This is where the app Lingopie really helped me with this tiered approach, especially for Spanish. You can watch movies or TV shows in a bunch of different languages, and it gives you dual language subtitles where you can click on the word, learn its meaning, can ask about a specific grammar point, or context on where to use the specific word that you've learned. They have integrated review flashcards and other types of review games. These quizzes and flashcards help you ensure retention, reinforce your learning, and memorize words and never forget them. Watching one TV show, I can learn about 30, 40 new words. And Lingopie has this built-in feature called Say It, where it can test your pronunciation. It'll play something for you, you have to say it back, and then it'll mark if your pronunciation is accurate or not. Lingopie is currently running a 58% discount promotion for Black Friday, so use the link in the description to claim your discount. In summary, these are my key approaches for learning multiple languages. If you are an aspiring polyglot or just maintaining a bunch of languages, this is what you can use as well. Number 1, tier your languages. Do not treat every language in the same way. You can rotate your focus, so it could be 2 active languages, 3 maintenance languages, and swap that around. I usually do that in a monthly system, so for 3 months, I'll focus on 2 languages actively, and then for the next 3 months, I will swap it around and take the passive languages and shift them up to active. Number 2, for your passive languages, input is non-negotiable. Try and do at least 30 minutes a week of reading or watching content. It's also really crucial that you listen and read at the same time. Use transcriptions, scripts, subtitles. That's really, really helpful. Principle 3, structured is better than random. Have structure. Don't just willy-nilly randomly learn a language. Have a list of ideas that you can implement and do those each week. Doesn't matter when you do it or how long it takes, but have a method. Principle number 4, this one is very important. Enjoyment equals sustainability. If it is hard, you're suffering through it, I mean, okay, that's how I feel about grammar, but if you're like, I don't enjoy it, it's not going to be sustainable. So do things that you enjoy, learn topics that you're interested in. If a tool or resource doesn't work for you, scrap it. Doesn't matter if everyone on YouTube says Anki is great. This is personal experience. Anki it doesn't work for me. Just use something else. I mean, you can use Anki, but in principle, if you don't like it, try something else. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. A bunch of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, and it's really, really going to help my channel. So if you want to see more languages, more videos about language learning, productivity, mindset, travel, design, whatever, please subscribe. Thank you. So for your active languages, you can read based on your interests. For example, for Korean, I like to read Brunch.kr. This is a kind of like culture, art, tech blog. And you can also get a few Medium articles in French, maybe Spanish. For Japanese, there's also Satori Reader, which has a bunch of stories. And then a ton of languages have like news in slow language. And then principle 5 is track your languages, but don't obsess over it. You don't need the most perfect plan and schedule. You don't need to study every single day. Consistency is just building a habit where you're doing it a few times a week. You can have a weekly checklist, you can have a language journal, even a spreadsheet or something on Notion. And really all you need to do is, did I touch this language? Did I engage with this language? Yes or no. You don't need to say how many minutes or how many hours you did passive active. I used to do that. It was fun. I got cool data and charts from it, but I'm old and lazy now. So my habit tracker just has like the languages listed and like tick, tick, tick if I've done anything in the language, no matter how small. It feels nice. Myth or question number 1. Do I not feel guilty when I just leave languages in passive or maintenance mode? Yes and no. I've identified that guilt is one of the worst things you can have in language learning. It kills your motivation, you compare yourself, and you just get sad. A few videos ago, I made a video about language guilt, and you guys responded really well to it, saying, oh, this was really what I needed to watch. So if you haven't seen that video, it is this one. But some days I only do passive maintenance, and that is fine because it's better to do something in a language and instead of doing nothing. Like I've said, I rotate my languages based on importance. Obviously, Hungarian is a main focus for me now before I move, whereas Spanish, not so crucial. Another question you may have: how do you choose which language goes into each tier? Active focus will be languages related to travel plans, career, maybe relationships you have, work, your current passion. You pick the ones that feel the most important, the ones you are most likely to engage with and use often. Active maintenance languages are ones that you already have a strong base in, that you're not just gonna forget if you leave them, but you don't need to actively study every single day. And passive, you also need a good foundation. I'd say about B1, B2, maybe A2. Doesn't really matter as long as you feel comfortable to some extent and you can converse, because it's in maintenance mode, so you don't want to forget if you just know the basics. These are ones that you might have a cultural interest in and ones that you're okay with maintaining slowly. Your progress is obviously going to be much slower in these languages, so you have to make peace with that fact. Think of it visually in this way. Active learning is going to be a steep improvement curve, and maintenance is kind of going to go like that. Another question: what if I only have 30 minutes a day total and not 1 hour? Very normal. Same, I try and do an hour or a few hours a week, but I do be tired, and many days I only also have half an hour. In that case, you can have one active language and the rest are passive. You can implement 20 minutes of active studying and 10 minutes of passive learning, or you can kind of pile it up and not do something every day, but you can spend weekends doing it actively. So passive can be whatever amount of minutes each evening if you're reading or watching something, and then active can be on the weekends where hopefully you have more than half an hour. Long-term view, zoomed out view, I'm still doing something each month in a language. It is better than nothing. I am not a perfect polyglot who studies every single day. So to close off, remember that active learning is for growth and maintenance is just for retention. So if you're an intermediate learner, a polyglot, try this system and let me know if it works for you. If you have a different system you would recommend, drop it in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!